Hello, Indiana disciples. Welcome to the Indiana Regional Staff's very first podcast. We are so glad that you have tuned in to hear what we have to share, and we want to tell you exactly who we are. So, we are 120 plus churches spanning from as far north as South Bend and as far south as Evansville and everywhere in between. We are a church that believes in Christ's table, connection and care, shared wisdom, mutual ministry, and spiritual leadership. That is who we are when we come together as the Indiana disciples. So now that's just a little touch of who we are. Let's take it a little further and meet our regional staff. I am Reverend Anita Cobb. I am the program director for Quest, A Journey of Faith, and I have been with the staff for 2 years.
Hi, everyone. I'm Candace Boyd Simmons. I'm not a lifelong disciple, but I have been with our region for 10 years, serving the Commission on Ministry as well as the Reconciliation Program.
My name is Krista Hunter, and I'm a ministry associate. I've been with the region for 3 years, and I became a disciple as a toddler.
Hi, I am Reverend Cheryl Russell Kunkel. I have been a lifelong disciple, and it is a privilege to serve as Associate Regional Minister, supporting the Commission on Faith Formation, as well as several other ministries of the region. I have been on regional staff for 4 years. So every year at this time, the Christian Church Disciples of Christ takes up the Christmas offering, and the Christmas offering each year supports the work of your local region, which is us, the Indiana Disciples. Our theme this year is the work of Christmas. And so I want to ask the regional staff, when you think of the work of Christmas, what is it that comes to mind?
For me, the work of Christmas is the coming together of families, of friends. The work of Christmas is the peace and the joy. This is the most wonderful time of the year because for whatever reason, this is the time of the year when the kindness of strangers comes out. And it just is something magical about this time when we start to put others before ourselves.
I love that, Anita. In the same vein, when I think about the work of Christmas, I think about our shared tables. Those who know me know food is important. So I think about the tasty treats that we're going to serve, but also making sure that there is something on everyone's table. That's the work of Christmas.
Food really does bring us all together.
It does. I always think of one of my very favorite Christmas carols, "O Holy Night." For me, Christmas Eve is not complete until I've heard someone beautifully sing "O Holy Night" in a candlelit sanctuary. And every year, but this year in particular, I've really been thinking about that line in "O Holy Night" that says, "A thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices." And this year, especially, I feel like our world is weary. I feel like we are all weary. And what we really need this Christmas, I think the work of this Christmas in particular, is the work of hope. So looking at where we find hope, whether that is looking around at the faces in our region and all of the amazing things that each of your congregations are doing, as well as our shared ministry together. I really think that thrill of hope, because it's not just hope, but it's the thrill of hope. It's that work of Christmas that really sets our hearts ablaze with that passion. And I think we're really, really in need of that particularly this year.
For me, the work of Christmas is the anticipation of the birth of Jesus Christ and the hope, the peace, the joy, and the love that we celebrate in the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas.
So let's talk about what the work of Christmas is and how that work is supported through the Christian Church in Indiana. I would say it's through our programs, through camps, through resourcing, through connecting seminarians with their CPE programs. That's what the work of Christmas is in our region. From you sending someone to camp, from you participating in a book study. That's how the work of Christmas is lived out in our region. What about you, Anita?
Yes, I agree. And also how we work with one another in our local congregation. When we can come together and have celebrations and pageants and children's programming, when we get together and we are just sharing and laughing, so many times the work of hope is restored when we are able to just see the light in each other's eyes. So, around our region, when we gather together and we share in different meals or we invite other congregations to participate in activities, I think that's where I see the work happening a lot around our region.
I also see it in the clergy peer groups that are around the region. I think when the clergy have time to gather with one another and share ideas and come up with new things to do in their churches, it gives everybody a renewed sense of hope. Maybe you're extra weary or your pastor is extra weary and they just need an idea from someone else. And those clergy peer groups allow them to have the space to come together and share their hopes and their dreams and their struggles and come up with ideas to become better.
And all of these things that you all have mentioned are definitely things that are happening right now in this Advent season and will happen as we move into Christmas. But I also think the work of Christmas happens beyond this Christmas season. I think here in the Indiana region, the work of Christmas, we may not call it that in July, we may not call it that in March or October, but I think that's what's happening. I think this work of Christmas is happening all year round as you all participate in lay leadership academies, as you come to regional assembly in October next year. Mark your calendars for sure for that. Whenever we gather to learn, whenever we gather to share, it is in those moments that we may not call it that, but the work of Christmas is what's happening there. As Krista mentioned, that hope and peace and joy and love is embodied in our gatherings, is embodied in your weekly worship, is embodied in your children's programming. I think that work of Christmas is so important to keep that in mind, that it keeps going all year round.
That's really good. That's really good because sometimes we miss out and we forget, and all those kind strangers just, kind of go away and we don't know who they are anymore and we don't smile or we forget to say hello or thank you. But it's something about taking this spirit with us all the way around so that even when we get to July and, there's Christmas in July, we can kind of respark that same feeling and that same comfort. And I think when the Indiana disciples get together, regardless of where we are, we share that spirit and we have a really good time. And you can see the work of God in each and every one of us.
I want to say that I just a couple of weeks ago before Thanksgiving, I am a staunch no Christmas before Thanksgiving. And maybe it's because my birthday is Thanksgiving week, so I don't want to overlook that. But I do. But I've just always been, I don't decorate. I don't listen to Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. And if you start decorating for Christmas in August and start listening to Christmas music in June, I love that for you. And I hope that brings you joy. But this year I found myself a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving, I was walking through the grocery store or something and I was listening to Christmas music and all of a sudden I said, I am in the mood to be in the mood for Christmas. And I thought to myself, my first thought was, no, Cheryl, it's not Thanksgiving yet. You can't be in the mood for Christmas yet. And then I thought, why not? Why can't I be in the mood for Christmas, to be in the Christmas spirit all year round? I think about children this time of year and the awe they feel, and why can't we feel that awe all year round? Even if it's just in a Sunday service during ordinary time when our paraments are green and they've been green for weeks, why can't we sit and think, my goodness, that work of Christmas is still happening, and feel that awe in our hearts? So if you're in the mood for Christmas in April, be in the mood for Christmas in April. Have that spirit with you, like Reverend Anita said, have that spirit all year round.
That is really a helpful reminder. Because some people do start their Christmas time early.
Thank you
sure
for the
do.
call out, Anita. I appreciate that.
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't, Candace. I just was going to keep going with it.
You called yourself out.
But what happens around Christmas? Like, we have gatherings. We've talked a lot about food. We've talked about getting together and shows and pageants and whatnot. But what happens? What happens with you all around Christmas?
I think Candace said it. I mean, there's a lot that happens, but so much of what we do is around food. In fact, I said to my husband the other night, he was getting ready to go to the grocery store, and I said, you got to get flour and sugar because we're going to be doing some baking. And he got really excited about that. But I think there's baking. I think our homes smell like cookies and candies. It means the holidays for me. It means Christmas when I can smell my mom's famous homemade yeast rolls, that we put them all over the house to rise because we know exactly what rooms in the house are warm enough to let them rise. And she makes them for dinner, but she also holds some of the dough to make cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning. And the smell of that yeast dough and the cinnamon and the homemade icing that goes on top, there is nothing that says Christmas more to me than my mom's cinnamon yeast rolls. And she only does it at the holidays. She does it for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that is it. And I know it's because it's kind of a pain in the neck to make this and put them all over the house to rise and all that kind of stuff. But that it's the holidays for me. That smell, that scent memory is such a wonderful thing. So I wonder, Candace, you've mentioned food. We know you are that's your favorite thing. So I wonder what else
Yes.
is on your table.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. So I'm thinking about the ham that I'm gonna make, or the sweet potato pie that I'm gonna make, or even like the cranberry little drink that I'm gonna make. Something just savory and tasty and delicious. But also, you all, as I am the resident Christmas lover on the regional staff, so I've been trying to decorate the office since October. But really and truly, I love the decor of the season, the glitter, the glitz, the sparkle. That to me says Christmas. And just, I love the beauty of the season, the evergreen. I love it.
I love the memories of Christmas. I'm a little older now, and but I remember being a kid, and I remember that my cousins and I, and if they listen, they'll get me. But we used to put on shows at the family Christmas gathering, and we would go in the room and we would practice, and then we would come out and we would sing our song and do our little dance, and that was one of the best things for me. So I love the Christmas memories, and when we're sitting around and we're laughing and we're talking, and back then it may have been embarrassing, but to look back on it now, it's like I'm glad I had that moment with those people, whether it's friends or family. It's just a great time. And so, what happens around Christmas is memories are made and shared and cherished. And even for those family members who aren't here with us anymore, it's a really great time to remember who they are. I'm sure you all have some really great memories and have some people that you think about around this time too.
For me, it's about gathering and seeing the spirit of Christmas through the eyes of my children. As a mom of 3 kids, seeing how excited they get about decorating the tree and knowing that after they go to bed, I got to move the ornaments around because they put them all in one spot on the tree. I know we all did it as children too, because they just get so excited. They got to put everything on the tree and they never move around the tree to separate their ornaments. And seeing how excited they get to make their Christmas list, but also to buy presents for other people and to say, are we going to get some tickets off the angel tree to buy things for other people who aren't going to have Christmas? I love that they're excited to get gifts, but they're also excited to give gifts.
I have a photo of myself as a small child that I think epitomizes Christmas and the joy of Christmas and that awe that through the eyes of a child. And it is the Christmas probably mid-'80s, I would imagine, when I was receiving my Cabbage Patch doll.
Yes.
And that my mom probably had to fight somebody in the aisle of the store for that. And I've always looked at that picture and thought, the look on my face is like, it is the most excited I think I've ever been to this day on that look on my face. I think we probably still have that Cabbage Patch doll somewhere to be saved. But I also, especially this year, as this is my first Christmas as a mom myself, I think what that feeling must have been like for my parents to be able to provide for me that thing that they knew was going to elicit that reaction. And a reaction they must have known was coming because they managed to get a camera. And it was like a film camera, and you probably had to wind it and that whole thing. But they got a picture of it. But I'm thinking now about that, what that must feel like to be able to give, not just receive, but that, like Krista said, that feeling of giving someone something they're going to love, and being able to have those feelings is a really wonderful part of Christmas. And I really think that can translate to other parts of our lives and other times in our lives if we let it.
Cheryl, I have that same picture of myself with the Cabbage Patch doll, but mine is complete with white go-go boots.
White go-go boots.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I love it. You have to share that with me
I
here in a
will.
little bit. I'd
I
like to
will.
see that.
So, how can you support the Christmas offering?
So there are so many ways that you can support the Christmas offering beyond financial, but obviously give in your congregations, give to your region. But join a team, join a ministry team. Come volunteer with us and the regional staff. There's always something that needs to be done. Serve on a commission on ministry team. Serve a lay leadership academy group. Work with us. Help us pack up standing cards. Help us digitize files. There are so many different ways that you can help support the Christmas offering beyond financial. Talk to Anita about having her come to your church to talk about Quest, or have Reverend Cheryl come preach in your congregation. Those are the ways that you can support the Christmas offering beyond financial. What about you?
Well, it is an offering. So
That it is.
the ways that you can support the Christmas offering is to give. And it doesn't matter what your gift is. It's really about giving so that the work can continue. We go and we go and we go, and ministry requires resources, and our financial resources shared together is an opportunity for us to say, hey, I had a hand in that. Hey, look at what we're doing. I supported that. All because you give in your Christmas offering. So your churches will have special envelopes, or they may show a video, and there's probably a QR code because we're fancy now. And so there are so many ways to give. And we just ask that you give from your heart. What is God asking of you? And what can you give?
I think one of the things you can do is to show up. Bring your whole and authentic self. When we gather for regional assembly, when we gather for general assemblies, how many people did we have? How many Indiana Hoosiers were in Memphis this past July for General Assembly? We had a
heard
crew.
over 300.
We had a crew. There were a lot of us in our matching shirts. So we need you to come to stuff. We need you to show up. Like I said, we are not the region we are without you. And we need you in the chairs, in the pews, in the communities. When we have lay leadership academies, we want you there. Yes, to learn, but also so we can learn from you. I know that as I go around the region and visit churches on Sundays, I'm either out preaching or offering a moment for mission or whatever it is, or sometimes I just get to come and worship with your congregations, which is such a blessing. But I get to come in and see your beautiful faces, and we want those beautiful faces to be all around the region. So come, show up to Regional Assembly, which is October
2 and 3 at Geist Christian Church, Promise Road.
So put that on your calendar now. Come to camp. Even if you don't have a lot of children to send to camp from your congregation, there are lots of ways that you can support the faith formation and the fun and the community building that we do at summer camp. And you can always ask me how that is, I'm happy to share those ways. But there are so many ways just to show up and bring who you are and the God-given gifts that you, the Spirit-filled and led gifts that you have. And if you are feeling called to do something in the region and you don't know even what is available to do, you just reach out to us and we are happy to help you plug in to many different places. We got all kinds of things that you can do, and we would love nothing more than to have you in our regional community doing this work of Christmas together. So thank you so much for tuning in to our very first Indiana Disciples Staff podcast. We are just delighted to have this conversation. We want you to join the conversation, and so we hope that you'll reach out to us. And we're just so excited to bring this to you in this way. And we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I said we want to see your faces, and I am so serious about that. I'm going to tell you that on Thursday, December 11th, we are having an open house, a Christmas open house here in the regional office from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you want to see the beautiful ways that Candace Boyd Simmons has decorated this regional office, you want to see that sparkle, and we will have delicious treats for you to have. And more than anything, we just want you to come and visit us and visit with each other. We hope to see you on December 11th, but if we don't, we want you to know that we wish you a very Merry Christmas.